Hey everyone, welcome into the latest TDR International Weekly Recap presented by Prohibition Partners. I'm your host, Shad Dales. This is a weekly segment that covers off the top global cannabis developments shaping markets, policy, and investment trends. Lots to look into this week as we look at Europe, Australia, and Asia, from Germany's regulatory crackdown to Spain's long-awaited medical framework and Australia's record-breaking boom. What does that mean? Well, let's get into it in our latest Top 5 International Weekly Recap presented by Prohibition Partners. All right, let's start in Germany with a lot of question marks surrounding this right now. It involves the federal cabinet who advanced a major amendment to the MedCanG law, and really not in a good way. Well, under this new draft, remote prescriptions are banned unless preceded by an in-person consultation. Mail-order cannabis deliveries are now blocked, and access for scientific research is limited strictly to clinical trials. And we knew something like this could be happening. The government indeed says this is about stopping abuse, pointing to a 170% increase in cannabis imports this year. But their data tells another story. No spike in problematic use, no youth risk, no surge in hospitalizations. So really the question here needs to be asked, what is going on here? It's politics, not public health. Because really this is the most aggressive rollback we've seen since legalization began, and it's a serious threat to digital health innovation and patient access, especially for rural and elderly patients who rely on telemedicine. So if this indeed passes, we could see a chilling effect across Europe, where other countries have looked to Germany as a model for safe, scalable access. So plenty to watch here moving forward on what will be the final ruling here. Next up is Spain, but before we get into that, a quick word from our friends over at Morgan & Morgan. Hey everyone, there's a reason smart investors celebrate when their portfolio jumps 40% in a year, just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Think about it. When you're investing, you want the right team in your corner. The same is true if you're injured in dealing with an insurance company, and that is where Morgan & Morgan comes into the equation. Why? Well, they've got more than 1,000 attorneys and over 100 offices nationwide, and they've been fighting for people for over 35 years, and their track record is hard to ignore. Let me explain a little bit further. Case in point, in Florida, a client was offered $350,000, but walked away with $12 million. In Pennsylvania, another client, they turned $650,000 offer into $26 million. That's a 40x return. So in total, Morgan & Morgan, they've recovered more than $25 billion for over 500,000 clients. So really, when you hire him, it's like bringing in a legal army that has your back. Because if you're injured due to someone else's negligence, you deserve to be paid. And let's be honest, not all law firms are created equal. But with Morgan & Morgan, their fee is free unless they win. You can start your claim right now by clicking the link in the description below, or by scanning this QR code on your screen with your phone. At the end of the day, if you want what you deserve, make sure you go in with the right team by contacting Morgan & Morgan today. Now, let's get back to the rest of our video. All right, as I said before, let's now move over to Spain, where after 12 years of patient advocacy, the government has finally approved a national medical cannabis framework. This is good. The new royal decree allows prescriptions of oils and extracts, but only in hospital settings and only by specialists. So there's no flower access, there's no GP prescribing, and only hospital pharmacies can dispense. But here is the key. It's free for patients under Spain's public health system. So really, this is a big deal, and the reason why is because for the first time, we're starting to see cannabis formally integrated into institutional medicine. The next challenge? Training doctors. Because without clinical education, Spain's reform risks being symbolic, not systemic. Still, it is a massive step forward that could inspire more medically conservative nations to follow suit. So this is the first step in the right direction in Spain. Now, as I said off the top, big boom in Australia, where the numbers right now are jaw-dropping. Medical cannabis imports have jumped nearly tenfold since 2021, overtaking actually Germany, with telemedicine fueling most prescriptions for chronic pain and anxiety. But with that growth comes growing concern. Regulators are saying it's too fast, too digital, and too loosely. Sounds a lot like Germany. Domestic producers are also struggling to compete with cheaper Canadian imports, leading to a stockpile of unsold product. So then where does that leave us? Well, Australia is at a crossroads. So how do you scale access responsibly without strangling innovation? The upcoming policy response is going to define whether Australia becomes a true global model or just another cautionary tale in overregulation. And let's hope that's not the case. Meanwhile, let's shift back to Germany, where Releaf, a UK-based clinic, is making a bold entrance. What do I mean by that? Well, here's their plan. They're going to dominate digital search and market share by out-executing slower competitors. They're also integrating pharmacy logistics, e-commerce checkout with Stripe, and a seamless UX built for conversion. This isn't just another clinical expansion, it's the future of cannabis healthcare, data-driven, design-led, and consumer-centric. Releaf's arrival could ignite a digital arms race in Germany, forcing legacy operators to level up or lose relevance. So the takeaway here, execution beats hype every single time. Now let's head over to Thailand, and the story has flipped completely. Well, just a couple of years ago, Thailand was Southeast Asia's reform pioneer, but now the Phumjai Thai Party, once the biggest champion of legalization, is calling for a national anti-drug campaign within 4 months. That's it, claiming the experiment failed. So it's a sharp reminder how fragile reform can be when regulation doesn't keep up with politics. Without a strong legal foundation, public backlash can erase years of progress overnight, and that's a warning sign for every emerging market investor watching Asia right now. These things will continue to happen in a lot of countries until we see proper regulation. So really, what's the signal this week? 1, Germany is rewriting its rules, but not based on facts. 2, Spain finally acts, but success depends on education and execution. 3, Australia is booming, but risks stalling without domestic balance. Number 4, Releaf's move could redefine digital access in Europe. And number 5, Thailand's reversal proves progress is never guaranteed. What else is new in the cannabis industry? If you want to learn more based on all these developments and dive deeper into all 30 international stories, make sure to sign up for Prohibition Partner's International Cannabis Weekly newsletter. It's free at prohibitionpartners.com/International Cannabis Weekly. That's it for now. I'm your host, Shad Dales. Thanks for checking into our latest TDR International Weekly Recap presented by Prohibition Partners. And let us know below what you think of some of these new rules that the German government could be implementing and what this could mean for the market if these laws do indeed pass. We'd love to get your feedback. As usual, if you like this breakdown, make sure to give this video a like, smash on that bell for all notifications, and a big thank you if you have the time to subscribe to us here at TDR. That's it for now. I'm your host, Shad Dales. Thanks for checking in, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.